By sons of God, the text means heavenly angels, although the Hebrew original, Bene Ha Elohim, should really be translated as sons of the gods, as a much more disconcerting prospect and something to be returned to in subsequent chapters. In verse 3 of chapter 6, God unexplicably pronounces that his spirit cannot remain in men forever, and that since humanity is a creation of flesh, its lifespan will be shortened to 120 years. Yet in verse 4, the tone suddenly reverts to the original theme of the chapter, for it says, the Nephilim were in earth in those days. So after that, when the sons of God came unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same were the mighty men which were of old, and the men of renown. And the hundreds of times I have read these isolated words out aloud, I have wondered to myself, what could they possibly mean? There is no consensus in answer to this question, and scholars, mystics, and speculative writers have all given their own interpretations over the past 2,000 years. Theologians agree in general that such accounts are not to be taken as literal fact, but only as a symbol of humanity's fall from a state of spiritual grace to one of conflict and corruption in the days prior to the Great Flood. What the texts are saying, the theologians would argue, is that if evil and corruption on this scale does occur in the world, then only those of the purest heart and spirit, individuals exemplified by Noah and his righteous family, will be spared the wrath of God. It is therefore a purely allegorical teaching.
Docking successful. Engines disengaged.
Hold on. I lost my place.
Forgive you.
It is therefore a purely allegorical teaching, intent on conveying to the reader the inevitable consequences of wickedness. The references in verse 2 and 4 to the sons of God coming unto the daughters of men, so the scholars believe, demonstrates how even the closest to the purity of God can become infected by corruption and evil. It is usually accepted among religious teachers that any such unholy union between angels and mortal women could only, because it was against God's will, lead to the creation of monstrous offspring. It was this thought-provoking concept which had, according to the early church fathers, inspired the creation of various apocryphal and pseudepigraphal works dealing with the fall of the angels and the corruption of mankind before the time of the Great Flood. Is this all there is to know about the origins of fallen angels? And what about the adherents of the Jewish and Christian faiths? How were they able to interpret such events? The majority would probably have been unaware that these problematic verses even exist in the book of Genesis. Others who did have some knowledge of the matter are unlikely to have been able to expand on it, with only a very small minority who had believed in the actual existence of fallen angels. Many commentators would have been unable to explain exactly how such stories relate to the physical world we live in, while others with more fundamentalist Jews or Christians have seen such corruption and wickedness as actions of bloodline descents of those fallen angels who cohabitated with mortal women before the time of the flood. Such suggestions may seem far-fetched, but in the United States there's an organization known as the Sons of Jared, who take their name from the patriarch Jared, the father of Enoch, during whose age the Watchers were said to have been cast down from heaven. In their manifesto, the Sons of Jared vow implacable war against the descendants of the Watchers, whom they allege, as notorious pharaohs, kings, and dictators, have throughout history dominated mankind. The Jaredite advocate, the voice of the Sons of Jared, quotes lavishly the Book of Enoch and sees the Watchers as like super gangsters, a celestial mafia ruling the world. It is simply a view gained from dogmatically accepting the fall of the flesh and blood angels of heaven. How many individuals have the Sons of Jared accused or persecuted, believing them to be modern-day descendants of the Watchers? Some academic scholars, on the other hand, while unable to accept any basis in fact behind the concept of fallen angels and the monstrous offspring of Nephilim, would be willing to admit the original authors of the book of Genesis, traditionally accredited to Moses the lawgiver, based their material on previously existing folk legends, possibly from Mesopotamia, the country known today as Iraq. The historian S. E. Hook, for instance, in his book Middle Eastern Mythology, accepts that behind the brief and probably intentionally obscure references in Genesis 6 1 through 4, there lies a more widely known myth of a race of semi divine beings who rebelled against the gods and were cast down into the underworld. The fragment of this myth, preserved by the Yahwehist, was originally an anecdotal myth explaining the belief in the existence of a vanished race of giants. This may well be so, but accepting Genesis 6 1 through 4 as the product of a far older Middle Eastern myth allows for the possibility that sometime during a bygone era of mankind, there existed on Earth, presumably in the Bible lands themselves, an elite and probably superior race of human beings. These people presumably achieved a state of higher civilization before denigrating into a corruption and wickedness that included the taking of wives from among less civilized people and the creation of monstrous offspring of disproportionate size to their immediate family. It might also be suggested that a series of global cataclysms therefore brought fire, blood, and darkness to the earth, ended the reign of this race of giants. Should we see accounts like Lamech's torment and the miraculous birth of his son Noah, and untold of his likeness, and tantalizing evidence for the idea that fallen angels were something far more than simply incorporeal beings cast out of heaven by the archangel Michael, theologians and propagators of the Christian, Islamic, and Jewish faith have taught during the last 2,000 years. Could their very existence be confirmed by making an in-depth study of Hebrew myths and languages, and then comparing these with other Near Eastern and Middle Eastern religions and traditions? Most important of all, might evidence of their physical existence on Earth be incidentally preserved in the records of modern-day archaeology and anthropology? Such thought provoking possibilities are worth further consideration. In the end of the day, we found no such evidence for the existence of a now-lost race in the Bible that could be discovered, then at least the age-old enigma would have been investigated thoroughly. On the other hand, if there really was firm evidence that angels and fallen angels were walk among mankind as beings of flesh and blood, no different from you or me, and it could change our perspective on the world. And that raises a lot of interesting points. You know, the idea that these beings exist, they have existed, and they incorporate a race of giants.
Fuel cell disengaged.
I mean, because what it suggests there, and you know, going to the Genesis 6 in those days and afterwards, it suggests that angels continued to fall, and which continue to make giants, which we've seen throughout the Bible. There's Goliath, there's the Anakim, and then we even hear about the red-haired giant of Kandahar, and of course the giants that warred with the Native American tribes.
Yeah. Pioneer
So
tribes.
it's everywhere.
Very good points, Brian. Very good points. You're absolutely right. It is everywhere. You know, the mythology of the giant is replete throughout the world. And, you know, they come from as early as these ancient texts here. And I think that even the Book of Enoch was probably influenced by something like that. Think about how long the Enoch book was probably an oral tradition before it was ever written down.
Well, a lot of the ancient writings were.
Yeah, so this is an ancient story. Very ancient. Very archetypal.
All dynamics, Bravo Alpha November. Federal Flight Control welcomes
All the
you.
stories about
Please
Enoch.
submit a docking request before entering the station.
Well, that's what makes people think that
Request approved.
that was like
Assigned
DNA.
to landing pad 22.
You know, messing with DNA and being able to actually do that too.
Yeah, and
Because,
then
because mostly, two different species can't really mate, so maybe there was some type of sort of DNA manipulating going on, other than just sex.
it wasn't meant to be, I don't think, because
No. It's an abomination to God's creation, I believe is the way it's looked at, correct? It's messing up God's perfect creation.
Well, there's things there should never be, It's like
Yeah.
half human, half celestial.
I mean,
Terrifying.
if you think about it, like we were talking the other night about the biblical apocalypse, about the mark of the beast being like a thing crossing into your DNA
Yes.
and corrupting you.
Yes.
Who's to say that the concept cannot be maybe blood of the angels or something like that, blood of the fallen? Yeah,
Yeah.
and so that they made these creatures, and of course the myth behind the existence of demons is that they were the disembodied spirits of the dead giants. So
Yeah, that's
I mean
Heard that.
yeah.
That's a theory I'm familiar with. I've heard that in regards to the giants, to the Nephilim, that they are present day demons. They are disembodied spirits. They are non corporeal beings.
Mhm.
There's no place in heaven and hell for them. They just wander the earth.
Yeah.
But part 3 brings us up to the fear of the fallen angels. This part deals with the Essenes and antediluvian pillars,
Ooh, drink.
the pillars of Enoch. There are clear signs that the concept of angels and fallen angels as corporeal beings of flesh and blood, who lived in the distant antediluvian age, and left as a legacy and intimate knowledge of many things forbidden to humanity, was once widely accepted by certain elements of the Jewish population. This included the devout religious communities that lived a pious existence in the hot, rugged terrain on the west bank of the desert of the Dead Sea from about 170 BC to AD 120, known to history as the Essenes. Their main center is thought to have been at Qumran, where archaeologists have uncovered extensive evidence of occupation, including a massive library room where many of the Dead Sea Scrolls are thought to have been written. Historical works from this period suggest that the Essenes not only accepted the Book of Enoch as part of their canon, but also used its listings of angels to perform rites of exorcisms and healings. Recent studies of the Dead Sea Scrolls have also shown the Essenes possessed the utmost unhealthy interest in Enochian-style material featuring the Watchers and the Nephilim. Although many of these works date only to the 2nd century BC, the hidden teachings found among the Qumran community, known as Kabbalah, imply the Enochian and Noahic scriptures were passed on by word of mouth for thousands of years before finally being written down in some form by the Essenes themselves. With the advent of Christianity, the Book of Enoch and other such similar works became generally available for the first time. Many of the church's early leaders, from the 1st to the 3rd centuries AD, used and quoted openly from their pages. Some scholars held that mortal women have been responsible for the fall of angels, while Paul in Corinthians 11:10 advocates, according to the church father Tertullianus, 60 AD to 230, that women cover their heads so as not to incite wantonness in fallen angels who like unveiled women with beautiful hair. For even more remarkable was the general acceptance among many prominent theologians that fallen angels possess corporeal bodies. Indeed, it was not until the age of the church fathers from the 4th century onwards that such matters were seriously questioned. For these people, fallen angels were not flesh and blood beings, as any suggestion they might have been became tantamount to heresy. This attitude led to the suppression of the Book of Enoch, which quickly fell out of favor. Most bizarre of all were the comments of St. Augustine AD 354 to 430, in respect to the antiquity of this pseudepigraphal work. He claimed that on account of it being too old, the Book of Enoch could not be included in the canon of Scripture. Whatever could he have meant by suggesting it was too old? It was a most extraordinary statement to be made by a respected church father. Curiously enough, the Book of Enoch had also fallen out of favor among the Jews, after Rabbi Simeon ben Joachai in the 2nd century AD cursed all those who believed that the Son of God mentioned in Genesis 6 were truly angels. This was despite the fact that the Septuagint, the Greek version of the Old Testament, used the term angelos in place of sons of God. The church fathers then went further in their attempt to stamp out the strange fascination with fallen angels among early Christians by condemning as heresy the use of many hundreds of names given both to angels and fallen angels in various religious works. No longer was the Book of Enoch copied by Christian scribes, and those copies remained in libraries and churches were either lost or destroyed, denying the world any knowledge of the work's true content for over 1,000 years. Subsequently, on top of all this, it became policy of the Catholic theologians to eradicate firmly from the teachings of the Church any notion that fallen angels had once been seen as material beings, a situation typified by this quote from the New Catholic Encyclopedia. In the course of time, theology has purified the obscurity and error contained in traditional views about angels, i.e., the belief they were corporeal in nature and cohabitated with mortal women. Yet why has such beliefs become so abhorrent to the Christian faith after the great leaders of the early Church of Jerusalem have preached so openly on this very controversial subject? It simply did not make sense, and suggests there must have been extremely good reasons for forcing this strain of thought underground. That's exactly where it went, underground. From the extraordinary evidence collected together by the author and presented in this book for the first time, there emerges firm ground to suggest that initiates and secret societies preserved, revered, even celebrated the forbidden knowledge that our most distant ancestors had gained their inspiration and wisdom from, not from God or from the existence of life, experiences of life, but from a forgotten race, remembered by us today only as fallen angels, demons, devils, giants, and evil spirits. Should such a view prove in any way correct, it must indicate that one of the greatest secrets ever kept from mankind. But where was I to start? How was I even to begin the quest to unveil the forbidden legacy of this apparently fallen race? The answer lay with its main source book, the Book of Enoch. For only by understanding its obscure origins and absorbing its bizarre content could I ever hope to uncover the true picture behind humanity's lost heritage.
Welcome to our station.
Landing comfort is engaged.
My
Clear
quest
for
to understand the
departure.
importance of the Book of Enoch began with a man who single-handedly revived the scholarly world's interest in the previously lost piece of Judaic religious literature. His name is James Bruce of Canaan. And in 1768, he left England to route for Abyssinia, modern-day Ethiopia, in search of something.
Advise,
Certainly not
traffic
the
restrictions are in place. Maintain safe separation.
Bruce was a Scottish nobleman, a direct descendant of one of the most powerful families of Scottish history. He was also an initiate of Freemasonry, which in Scotland could trace its roots back to the so-called Rite of Inheritance, first instituted in the early medieval times, and later incorporated into the Royal Order of Scotland. This in and of itself was a chivalric military order, honor and valor founded on the rights of the Knights Templar by James Bruce's own illustrious ancestor Robert Bruce. Following the celebrated defeat of the English at the Battle of Bannockburn in 1314. Bruce himself was a member of the Canongate Kilwinning No. 2 Lodge of Edinburgh, known to be one of the oldest in Scotland. Beside the military teachings entrenched in Judeo-Christian myth and ritual. Freemasonry is an organization with innumerable secrets, and many of these would have been known to the extremely knowledgeable James Bruce. For instance, he would have been aware of the Scottish Masonic tradition. Patriarch Enoch, Noah's great-grandfather, was looked upon as the craft's legendary founder, since he was accredited with having given mankind the knowledge of books and writing, and most important to all Freemasons, taught mankind the art of building. had many associations with early modern Freemasonry or speculative masonry, as is. According to one legend, Enoch, with foreknowledge of the coming deluge, constructed with the help of his son Methuselah 9 hidden vaults, each one stacked on top of the other. In the lowest of these, he deposited a gold triangular tablet, a white orient hierophant stone, bearing the ineffable name, the spoken meaning. On the second tablet, inscribed with strong words of themselves, was given into safekeeping of his son. The vaults were then sealed. On the spot, Enoch had 2 indestructible columns constructed, one of marble so that it might never burn, and the other of laterus, or brick, so that it might not sink in the water. One on the brick columns were inscribed the 7 sciences of mankind, the so-called archives of masonry. On the marble column, they placed an inscription stating a short distance away, priceless treasure, sulfur. Enoch then retired to Mount Moriah. Traditionally agreed with the temple in Jerusalem, where he was translated to Acts. At the time King Solomon was constructing his vaults and constructing his temple. In memory of these 2 ancient points of the Freemasons, who set up representations of them in their lodges, known as the antediluvian pillars or Enoch's pillars. They were actually replaced by representations of so said to have stood on each side of the entrances to the porch of Solomon's temple. What exactly the 9 hidden vaults constructed by Enoch were meant to represent is completely unknown. It might well refer to the 9 levels of the mystical initiation contained in the hidden teachings of the Kabbalah, except among the Dead Sea. On the other hand, perhaps the legend of the hidden vaults refers to an actual underground chamber located somewhere in the Holy Land, constructed to hide sacred objects of importance to the future of mankind. So there we go. That's
Do we just pick stories that say words like antediluvian in them?
Maybe.
it just happens.
It's a good word. Suits our purpose.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a safer drinking game than the one my wife and I came up with watching Ancient Aliens. Every time they say ancient astronaut theorists believe. They can
That's funny. Yeah. Standing going on at the end of that game, huh?
No, you'll be blacked out before the show's over.
Yeah, they put a lot of weight on that.
Oh, you got some super chat speed.
Oh, thank you. Joseph Aldrin for $1.99. Thank you, Joseph Aldrin. Much appreciated. Joseph Aldrin says, "Why is Pete a doofus?" Why is Pete? I know Joseph Aldrin. I know what it is.
It's just because he knows I love him.
That's how it works out. That's how it shook out. That's how the cards work out for
Because Tina lets you say racist.
Yeah.
Because Tina's racist.
Racist.
See, she admits it. Cancel her.
Yeah.
you. Terrible. NRG Daymoon for $11.11. Thank you, NRG Daymoon. Much appreciated. Very generous of you. Thank you so much. Wishing you all abundance, heart, and continued elevation. Thank you.
Sweetheart.
Sorry, some sleeping. I was so caught up in reading about the Book of Enoch and these UFOs, and I think there is a definite tie here. I think we're seeing that case laid out in front of us now.
Well, by definition, yeah.
There's definitely something that occurred. On Mount Hermon, you have the 200 Watchers descend.
Yeah.
They make a pact led by their leaders, Semyaza and Azazel.
Uh-huh.
They make a pact
Yeah. all in this together. We're all banging these chicks.
That's pretty much how it went. Yes.
Yeah, because Earth girls are easy.
That sounds like a cult.
It does. An excuse too.
Well, I mean, they're angelic beings, and
Yeah, I know.
girls like pretty things.
You got that. All right. Yeah.
That's why Aquaman made so much money.
Oh my God, Wendy Gorgeous.
If it wasn't for Amber Turd.
Right? Very good. Although, with these angels, though, I mean, I would guess that angels are freaking terrifying.
Probably.
Well, let's look at the descriptions we spoke of recently in our
Yeah.
descriptions of angels. The 4 living things,
Four
covered in
heads,
eyes,
wings.
4 faces, wings,
Yeah.
6 pairs of wings, covered in eyeballs. So yeah, I mean, sometimes angels are described as horrible things.
Yeah. And I mean, and they're not like, little sweet loving beings like Hallmark makes them out to be. They're fucking warriors, They're not messing around. So
Like
I don't know.
the archangels are the ones that really
They're the
do look.
warriors.
They're the ones that look warrior-like. The cherubs, the cherubim are actually supposedly more powerful than the archangels, because that's what
Are they?
Satan's supposed. Yes, that's what Satan's
Okay.
supposed. Say the Lucifer is the anointed cherub.
Ah, that's right.
Yeah. So he's not an archangel.
No.
And then there's the seraphim, which I believe is like a serpent with wings that breathes fire.
Which sounds a hell of a lot like a dragon to me.
Yeah. Apparently, that's kind of like the Grim Reaper, from what.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. If you see one of those, you're pretty much
Run.
dead.
So,
Yeah.
So the Grim Reaper's not a skeleton in a robe with a sickle.
No. It's a flaming snake with wings.
Flaming, no less.
I believe it's flaming.
On
Either he's
fire.
flaming or he breathes fire.
I got a super chat here from Trash Panda. Thank you, Trash Panda, for $1.99. Much appreciated. Trash Panda says, "Wonderful show, people panel. Much love to you all." Well, thank you so much, Trash Panda. Right back at you. Thank you so much.
I'm happy to see you, Trash Panda. Let me see. But anyways, I don't think I would. Yeah, I don't. I wouldn't want to meet an angel. I just wouldn't. They say I know it's like at Revelation where they say that men's hearts will fail them for the sight. I think I can see men's hearts failing them at the sight of an angel.
I got a super chat here from Joseph Aldred. Thank you, Joseph Aldred, for $1.99. Joseph Aldred says, "Seraphim or Trogdor. Is Trogdor the Burninator? Am I recalling correctly? Trogdor the Burninator? Burninating the countryside, burninating the peasants?"
Trogdor.
Yeah. Trogdor the Burninator.
It is so.
Oh, there's a game. There's a board game. I was going to charge a board game.
Landing gear retracted.
Burninating the countryside, burninating the peasants.
Guess who politics? Strong man.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Trogdor. Good times.
Yeah.
Good stuff. I remember that from like 20 years ago. That's how old I am and stuff. It was just like 20. Yeah.
Feels like 20 years is just nothing though anymore.
That's what
Yeah.
happens. That's what happens.
God, man. I know. Time is
One day you're 20, then the next day you're not, and you're like, what happened all these years? Oh, you're living in the years. Stepping away the time. Oh God.
I don't know how you remember the lyrics to all these like songs from every era. I swear.
They play the fuck out of them on the radio
Yeah, that's true, but I
all
mean,
the time.
Oh, that's true.
I haven't heard that song on the radio and I don't know when, so I mean, it's like Pete hears it one time and he retains it.
On the radio. Whoa, it's a
I
curse.
saw Donna Summer in concert. like 20 years ago.
I seen her at Disney when they did that World Series of Entertainment, and that's before all you guys were born.
Well, there you go.
It's
So
cool.
back in the day.
Yeah, they have like 7 different 70s bands. It was awesome.
Joseph Aldrin for $1.99 says, time keeps on tripping into the future. Thank you, Joseph Aldrin. Yeah, it does. It's bullshit. This wheel in the sky keeps on turning. I don't know where I'll be tomorrow. Yeah, watch out. Watch out for the wheel in the sky.
That's right.
That's right. That's right. That's
Flight
wrong.
assist
It's
off.
all wrong.
Flight assist
Don't
off.
think
It is. Can't do a damn thing about it.
I need to get down to Florida and get to the Fountain of Youth.
There you go.
Okay, I stand corrected about the seraphims. They're a lot like cherubim, except for they don't have the changing faces, but their faces are covered up with their wings, and they are on fire.
Okay, good,
Yeah.
good.
So,
Fire.
so a flaming angel is you don't want to see that.
No, I'm saying I think they'd be terrifying.
You don't want to see a flaming anything.
No, not really.
Now this is a steak on a grill. Am I talking right? That's right.
Yes, let's take that back.
Yeah.
Take that back.
So, would you summon an angel to cook your steaks?
Depends how hungry you are, I guess.
No, that's a lot of work. It's
Excuse
easier
me.
just to cook the steak yourself.
Angelic being. Please, for a second. Torch.
Sounds like a putz to me.
Putz?
I don't know. Don't ask me where my brain goes. Sometimes it just goes a little wonky.
It's okay.
Joseph Walter for $1.99 says, fire, burn, fire. I am Cornholio. Cornholio. What do you
Wonder how the great Cornholio fared in March with a TP shortage.
Hmm.
Flight assist
I don't know.
off.
Probably not well.
I'm sure Great Cornholio did fine.
Just walks into
He
places.
did
and-
predict the future, though, didn't he?
Yeah, pretty much. That's rather unsettling. We got fucking Beavis and Butthead predicting our future for us.
Predictive programming.
Idiocracy is a documentary.
Hmm.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Kind of is. I mean,
It's not that bad if you don't pay attention to it.
Flight assist
Yes.
on.
I stopped paying attention to all of it.
It's much healthier to not pay attention to it. I agree, Pete.
that would be called denial.
That's fine.
I'll just stay here for a while. I like it.
Yeah, that's right.
I got Paper Mario and origami and
Mhm.
all that shit.
Such a cute game.
Yeah, I've been streaming it a little here and there.
I know, I was there for a change. I made one, yay! And enjoyed it.
I think I've streamed like 3 times in the past 3 days.
I don't doubt it. It's fun. Looks fun. And what a better way? Just trying to make a little bit of coin by having some fun too.
Joseph Aldridge still bringing it back here to the 90s. With a $1.99 super chat. Powdered Toast Man! Clenched tenaciously to my buttocks.
It's filled with vitamin F.
Crap.
I have a powdered toast man plushie.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
We had the farting Stimpy.
I love stuff.
Oh, that's so cool. I want those.
Farting Stimpy dog. Certainly don't fart no more.
Oh,
Mm.
I think my dog like tore it apart though.
well, it is a cat.
Well, no, it was a dog at the time. I was, when I was a kid, we had a
Stimpy.
dog.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
Stimpy,
oh yeah. Okay, Stimpy the cat.
yeah. That's what I was
No, my dog took all the stuffed animals. The Snoopy toy. Like she tore everything up. Like she's like, you don't need this. I need this.
That's right.
It's like, okay. Became a man a lot faster because my dog took all my kitty toys.
Oh,
And then when I finally got the Stimpy, farting Stimpy, she took that too. I was like, wait a minute, this is not a kitty toy. It's farts.
apparently no matter, no concern.
No, still stuffed animals, mine.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I had a Snoopy, a stuffed Snoopy. It's like a pillow. I love that thing. I carried it around till its neck was broken in half. You know what I mean? Because all the stuffing went out. His neck would hang to the side. We gotta throw that away. No. I love my Snoopy dog. Her stuffed animal. What you got next, Pete?
I'm looking at the vintage Rent-A-Hoke and Stimpy 1992 Mattel 10-inch dolls. No sound. They aren't farting ones, but they don't fart anymore.
You got more on Enoch?
Yeah, I got one on Enoch, but I'm looking at farting Stimpies right now. Because I'm doing farting Stimpies thing.
Hurry up, because I want to
Sorry,
know more
man.
about
Jesus
you
Christ, man.
before we run out of time. It's one of my favorites.
I'm trying to stretch it out. I'm trying to stretch it out so we don't run out of time. Stretching it out. That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
Stretching it out.
All right.
Stretching it out. I'm
Share
looking
the
at fucking how
screen.
much is. No, I'm done now. You shit my cereal and you want to tell me it's fucking raining.
Pulling on your leg.
Cereal sounds really good.
I know, doesn't it? Some Honey Nut Cheerios.
It's a honey of a no.
Like a mouthful of joy. Giggity. Giggity.
Oh, God.
Yeah, Honey Nut Cheerios are way better than they really should be.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Raisin Bran man.
Oh, I love Raisin Bran
I
also.
eat buckets of Raisin Bran all the time.
Yeah, mine is the Honey Nut Cheerios. I love
I
it.
can't stop.
You know what I really hate about the Honey Nut Cheerios commercials? That stupid bee. Because
I know, he's annoying.
real bees don't act like that. Real bees don't try to get me to eat cereal.
They don't want you anywhere near their honey, as a matter of fact. Not really.
No, they're possessive of their honey.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They don't want you anywhere near it.
You realize
Like,
that B is a cartoon there.
Well, yeah, but it's still bad. It's still false advertising. Like, here's a bee.
Yeah, they don't talk either.
No, they don't.
They just buzz around.
They don't have hands with gloves.
You know?
No,
Yeah.
Winnie the Pooh did a better job explaining how bees work than the Honey Nut Cheerios bee.
Winnie the Pooh can't be trusted around honey to begin with.
no, he can't.
All right, Winnie the Pooh. I'll come out and say it. Winnie the Pooh's a fat fuck.
Oh, Pete. Poor Winnie the Pooh. Poor
He
Winnie.
gets his fat ass stuck in things because he's always trying to get to the honey pot.
He does.
Oh, I'm trying to get to the sweet, sweet honey. Well, I'm trying to get your ass unstuck.
That's right. Christopher
Just
Robin.
eat nuts and berries like a normal bear.
All out of shit.
Then you got a whole cavalcade of other fucked up animals hanging about. I don't know. I don't like it.
I was never a big Winnie the Pooh fan.
I mean, either. It was too sweet. Even as a kid, it was sort of annoying.
Oh,
I
it's
wanted
too
more
fucking sweet.
action.
Jesus Christ. Where are my Paul Malls? This is too sweet.
Right. That's right. Because even as a 7-year-old, I was
Too
smoking
too
non-filtered
babyish.
cigarettes as a 7-year-old. Yeah,
It was too babyish.
yeah, it was. Even
It was
when you were
really
little,
preschool, and it's really yeah.
I think so too. Yeah,
Even with the donkey with clinical depression.
you're right.
It pissed me off. It was stupid.
How weird is
Shut the
that?
hell up.
It's like, I know. Quit complaining. Poor asshole. Don't be an asshole, Eeyore.
It was.
I know.
Oh, Tigger was no better either. Fucking bouncing around all over the fucking place.
Tigger, I know. Tigger was on crack.
I hated Tigger.
He's on crack.
Just the voice,
Woo-hoo-hoo.
right?
When you hear that laugh, and I want to hear afterwards. You're in trouble, Tigger.
Tigger had coke.
Only old curmudgeon stoned people would get mad at Winnie the Pooh.
When it comes to tigers, the only tiger I'm interested in is Tony the Tiger.
He's
I
great.
like Tony the Tiger.
Show him you're a tiger. Show him what you can do. Taste
Oh, I
the
saw-
peanuts, frosted flakes. It brings out the tiger in you.
I saw Frosted Flakes with marshmallows at the store today, and then I saw the ones that are half Fruit Loops, half Frosted Flakes.
Frosted Flakes with marshmallows is fucking gross. Why fuck with perfection?
You think? Because I never liked like the cinnamon or the double frosted. I just
I
like
like regular Frosted Flakes. Just keep it simple.
Yeah.
People try to fuck with things that don't need to be fucked with. You don't need double frost shit. Like I was eating all these Snickers bars today. I'm turning it around.
Okay.
Flight assist.
Who eats Snickers bars?
They're ice cream bars,
Oh, that tastes good. I love those.
right? So they're ice cream bars. So I had
They're so good. What, the whole box is 6 of them?
I didn't eat all 6 of them yet.
5 of them? How many did you eat?
3.
Half the box. Pete, you
Turn
glutton.
it around.
Little glutton, you.
The pleasures of the table. The weakness.
I know.
You know what was so good and so painful was Captain Crunch.
Frame
I didn't
shift
care.
drive
I'm not a big
charging.
Captain Crunch man.
Just cut up the roof of your mouth.
Mm.
You gotta let them sit for a little bit. And then
Yeah.
they're just a little soggy.
No, I gotta say, that's how I eat my cereal. When, like, my Honey Nut Cheerios, I pour just a little bit in the milk, let it sit for a second, and eat that little bit. And I pour a little bit more in, let it sit for a second, and eat that. Because that way it never gets too soggy if you don't pour the whole bowl full.
That's true.
So that's why I've been eating my cereal
Incoming
forever.
mission critical message.
People look at me like, what are you doing? Well, I don't want it to get soggy.
It was every bit as good as Captain Crunch without the pain was the Batman cereal. You know, Batman the movie cereal.
That's from 20 fucking years ago.
I kind of remember that.
25 years ago.
Well, I remember the Star Wars cereal from 20 years
It was
ago.
delicious. I remember a good flavor. It's
Mhm.
delicious.
Well, they're bringing out the Baby Yoda cereal now.
How cute.
Yeah, and it's basically just the old Star Wars cereal.
Yeah. Appreciate that. Oh, that's cute.
Baby Yoda's cute. I'm gonna eat some of it. I'm gonna eat
For
it.
those of you who don't know it, Quebec loves
Incoming mission critical message.
Maybe people who don't play the war and love baby.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm gonna send myself the Raisin Brains out later. I'm gonna fucking throw a big old bowl of Raisin Brain. Fuck that shit. Fuck it. I've got so much Raisin Brain over here. It's unreal.
You got it, Commander. Deploying the ship.
I'm ready to rock. This is fucking
Fighter is deployed.
Have you ever had blueberry murray?
You can take a blueberry and tell it so much because I don't know nothing. You want blueberry to happiness to fly down the toilet? Is that what you want me to do?
My head is up against the wall. Ow. My head hurts. Oh.
That's being really good job. That's gonna be a really good job. That's folks cartoon. Cobblestone cob, cookie cob. Trying to catch the cookie cob. No
I like the Smacks version. I like the Honey Smacks or Sugar Smacks.
Good too.
I like that version. That's specific. I like that one.
I remember I got spanked when I tried to rotate the Big Frog. The
I guess I got my ass beat too. Where did you hear that from? I was getting
Incoming mission
over
No more
this,
talking.
you know.
Learned it from you. Learned it from watching you.
Thanks a lot,
Copy that.
Daddy.
Plotting route for fighter recovery.
In the immortal words of Kid Rock, cuss like a sailor, drink like a fish. My only words of wisdom are suck my dick.
cargo scoop deployed.
Fighter is in the bay. We're ready to go, Commander.
Here's some more Enoch.
Well, you just have to wait until my fucking pizza rolls are fucking done.
Oh, is that what? Okay, well,
No, I'm not really waiting on pizza rolls at all. That's uncouth.
you probably are.
That would be uncouth.
No, that would just be Pete. Not uncouth. You're just hungry.
Don't pull a George Norrie with those pizza rolls.
Yeah, right? I get brought up that every time.
You know, I think I have berry kicks, and not berry kicks. I do have berry kicks. That's got the dog on it. That was the little Pop Howls dogs. It has those guys on it. I have Ellen DeGeneres on a box of berry Cheerios.
She's got a lot of bad press right now, doesn't she?
Oh yeah. I think I need to do a video on her
I think you should too, because
tomorrow probably.
Frameshift drive charging.
But yeah, like I every so often, you know, you just hear this bad, like, oh, she's a bitch to her staff and stuff. And then on the back of the cereal, it's like, here's your good deed. Write a good deed, or write somebody's name on a good deed thing for your good deed of the day. You can be a critical bitch.
kind to one another.
Mm.
And in the meantime, what she's got scabs working at her house that are helping to produce her show, and she laid off all of her staff members that have been with her forever. That's what the bitch is, I think, right?
Yeah.
The bitch is back.
She's an
Fuel
asshole.
scoping.
She is an asshole.
She's an asshole.
She's cold and cruel and
Yeah.
phony and
Feel sorry for fucking Portia. She must be terrified every day.
You know who these people are.
You don't know who
Life.
Ellen DeGeneres is? Okay, we need to get you out a little bit more.
All I know is that Anne Heche was scared straight.
See? Yeah, she's.
Fuel
I
scoping
bet she's
disengaged.
a hell on wheels, man. A bitch on wheels.
So the patriarch Enoch's legendary status among Jewish mystics and modern-day Freemasons stems from a very strange assumption. The Bible, chapter 5 of Genesis, contains a genealogical listing of the 10 antediluvian patriarchs, Adam down to Noah. In each case, it gives only their names, their age when they begat their first son, the age in which they died. With one notable exception. Enoch, in his case, is twice said to have walked with God. An obscure statement elaborated only in the second instance with the enigmatic words, "And he was not, for God took him." Whatever the writers of Genesis had been attempting to convey by these words, they were taken to mean that Enoch did not die like the other patriarchs, but instead was translated to heaven with the aid of God's angels. According to the Bible, the prophet Elijah was taken to God in a similar manner. So Enoch, whose name means initiated, had always been accorded a very special place in Judeo-Christian literature. Indeed, Hebrew mysticism asserts that on his translation to heaven, Enoch was transformed into the angel Metatron. What does it mean? Translated to heaven, as we know, people are not carried off to heaven by angels while still living their life on earth. Either these words are metaphorical or else they need drastic reappraisal. Might Enoch have been simply taken away from his people by visitors from another land who were looked upon as angels and by the rest of the community? And where was heaven anyway? We know it was deemed to be a place in the clouds, but this did literally mean somewhere beyond the physical world in which we live. Once in this place called heaven, Enoch would appear to have made enemies immediately. For according to one Hebrew legend, an angel named Azaz was expelled from paradise, returned to remain from heaven, and was rejected to the high ranking, and Enoch was transformed into Metatron. All of these legends and traditions concerning Enoch
Lighting gear
show the
deployed.
patriarch was very highly venerated in Jewish mythology because of his trafficking with angels. This position led many scholars to believe that apocryphal works such as the Book of Enoch were imaginative stories based on his once celebrated translation to heaven, where he now lives in the presence of God. James Bruce of Kennard was one giant of a man, the tallest man you ever saw in your life, at least gratis, or so said one woman who met him. He was fluent in several different languages, and he himself was no longer spoken. These included Aramaic, Hebrew, and Ge'ez, the written language of the Ethiopian people. Even before his travels in Abyssinia, Bruce had journeyed far and wide, visiting Europe, North Africa, and the Holy Land, exploring ancient monuments and searching out old manuscripts ignored by all but a few inquisitive Westerners. In spite of his Blue Nile story, the noble Scotsman would appear to spend much of his time in Ethiopia within the libraries of ramshackle monasteries, fingering through the dusty volumes of neglected religious works, many hoary with age and in a state of advanced disintegration. So what had he been looking for? After nearly 2 years of constant travel, Bruce arrived in a sleepy monastery of Gondar, on the banks of the vast inland sea named Langtana. Having convinced the abbot of his integrity, he was admitted into a dark, dingy library room, where he found, as he was finally able to secure, a very rare copy of the Kebra Nagastat, the sacred book of the Ethiopians. It told of a romantic love affair between King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba, the legendary founder of the kingdom of Abyssinia, and the birth of their illicit son, Menelik, who had conspired with his mother to abduct the fabled Ark of the Covenant from Solomon's temple. According to the story, the Ark had been carried off to Ethiopia, where it remains to this day. But Bruce had in fact searched for a copy of this extraordinary ancient book to take back to New York. Despite its rarity, The Keber Nagast, the Book of the Glory of Kings, has long been known to exist. While it widely claims concerning the Queen of Sheba and the Ark of the Covenant were seen by Western scholars as having been concocted to give Ethiopian Christians an unbroken lineage and national identity stretching back to the time of Adam and Eve. Even so, there's compelling evidence to suggest the Ark really did reach Ethiopia, although not at the time of King Solomon, and that James Bruce was well aware of this fact and even entered Ethiopia in 1768 with the express intent of bringing it back to Britain. So was this the answer, the quest for the lost Ark of God? Had Bruce been the Indiana Jones of his day? Perhaps. Yet beyond his interest in the Kebra Nagast and the Ark of the Covenant, Bruce could hardly have been unaware of the rumors circulating Europe regarding the existence in Ethiopia of the forbidden Book of Enoch. Indeed, during the early 1600s, a Capuchin monk visiting Ethiopia had secured a religious text written in Ge'ez, which was at first believed to be a long-lost copy of this very book. The find caused much excitement in European academic circles. Yet when it was finally studied by an Ethiopian scholar in 1683, the manuscript was identified not as the missing Book of Enoch, but as a previously unknown text entitled "Mysteries: The Book of Mysteries of Heaven and Earth." No one really knew what the Book of Enoch might contain until the 1600s. Its contents were almost entirely unknown, yet its title alone was so powerful that at least one person attempted to learn its secrets from angels themselves. This was the Elizabethan astrologer, magus, and scientist Dr. John Dee, who, working with an alleged psychic, Edward Kelly, used crystal balls and other scrying paraphernalia to invoke the presence of angels. These spirits told Kelly they would provide him with the contents of the Book of Enoch. There was evidence to suggest Dee actually did possess a Book of Enoch dictated through Kelly's mediumship. It is not, however, thought to have always resembled the actual work of his name. In addition to this, Dee and Kelly developed a whole written language, complete with its own Enochian script or cipher, from trafficking with angels. This complex system of magical invocation survives to this day and is still used by many occultists to call upon the assistance of a whole hierarchy of angelic beings. So, yes, the Enochian magic of Dee and Kelly. And ladies and gentlemen, Jesse Miller at the Crow's Nest, everybody.
Eventually, work is over and you get to come hang out.
Yay!
We
Jesse.
Hey, Pete, you want to see a stupid thing I did today?
Uh-oh, what'd you do?
Oh no, you didn't cut yourself, did you?
Oh,
Okay.
you bought that helmet, didn't you?
God damn,
Yeah.
I really did.
What'd you get?
Hold on, let me see the other picture of it.
Okay.
Go to sent.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh's right.
Now keep in mind, you know me. All right, so there we go. Open the picture. Share the screen.
Send your pictures to dear Captain Noah.
All right, this is it closed.
The TV sky.
Right on cue.
What's going on here? What's cracking? What's crack-a-lacking?
It's me saying hello to people, sorry. Assuming that's what you're hearing.
Did you forget to share the screen, Jesse?
And I think this was supposed to be a quiet keyboard, so much for that.
I think his screen froze.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, because he hasn't moved.
yeah.
Sometimes that happens when your browser crashes.
I mean, he looks like the
Like he's
thinker. That should
sharing
be,
sometimes.
That was
There
funny.
he goes. There he goes.
God.
and everything closes.
And he's gone. No come back.
Wheel in the sky keeps on turning.
Don't know where I'll be tomorrow.
I think the only time my streams ever crash on StreamYards is when, or at least my side of it, is when I'm sharing my screen.
It's frustrating, I would imagine.
Yeah, I just tend to prefer streaming with OBS.
You haven't tried that yet, Pete, have you?
Just once.
Didn't like it?
Didn't like it.
No, sir, I don't like it.
No, sir. I don't like it.
I'm used to it from gaming and stuff.
Yeah,
Being a gaming streamer.
right. Well, I wonder if he lost it. I wonder if is it storming up there or something?
I don't believe so.
No, it was, it wasn't bad, but it was raining pretty heavy here for a while today. Speaking of the weather.
It wasn't that bad over where I'm at.
Yeah, it was, it came through about 3 times, like in bands.
It was really bad the other day.
Mm-hmm.
We're out at Clearwater Beach, and then on the way home, it was just got really nasty.
That's what's strange about the
I
beach.
love when everything crashes.
There you go.
It sends me a thing that says Chrome didn't close properly. I'm like, yeah, no shit. A lot of people fix that.
All right, let's see it, Jesse.
All right, this is the stupid thing I got today. Well, I ain't get it yet. They gotta make it.
They gotta make it, huh?
Yeah.
Custom made, huh?
Yeah. I'm getting this, except it's gonna be in black with red teeth.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Had to send them head measurements. It's going to be lined inside with leather. And yeah, it's a helmet.
Oh, cool.
Then
The eyes.
the other thing is that, yeah, the eyes are like weird. They're like sunken and then cut out.
Oh, cool.
But it also opens up, that you can see right here.
Oh, check that out.
So I did have to measure my dome piece.
Had to measure your noggin too.
Yeah, I hope it comes out good because the guy was nice. I mean, he sent a lot of emails back and forth. He wanted to make sure everything was right.
So he fabricates them himself, huh?
Yep.
Oh, cool.
Devil helmet.
What are you gonna use that for? Just.
But that's going to be my COVID-19 mask.
Ah, that is funny.
They said I had to wear a mask.
You're gonna
So,
scare the
there you
shit
go.
out of people with that on.
Stop asking
It's
me
hot
for
as
shit.
hell.
I don't care. It's worth the lulls.
You're gonna watch it. You're gonna walk in carrying boxes and be going, "Don't rob me!" I'm like, You're trying to give them something, though, right?
That's like my little Andy Kaufman flair. I don't care if it's only funny to me if it's making me laugh. Yeah.
Like my dad, Jesse. He
Mhm.
laughs at his own jokes.
You should wear that inside of a Staples with a red polo and khakis. Just
Why Staples?
I don't know, it'd just be funny. And I was like, I'm selling office supplies.
Is that their uniform, right? The
Yeah,
red-
I got furloughed from hell. Like I'm now working
I like
office
the
supplies.
idea of getting a purple hoodie and for a Skeletor.
Bro, do lots of things with it now. I mean,
Yep, lots of dumb shit to waste my time with.
yeah, well, you know.
It only cost me $200.
What? Ouch.
That's a good price for that.
I guess.
It's a helmet.
How do you know? Is that
It's
like
battle ready. It's a fucking helmet.
okay?
I thought a helmet would cost a lot more than that.
Okay. I mean, how do you gauge the price of a helmet, though? It's
I don't fucking know.
okay.
If
Oh,
it
wait,
looks
we're
cool and
gonna
if it could take
get
a shot to the face,
You ain't gonna take a shot to the face with that, huh?
probably. I don't know if I don't know. I got to hit myself with it on. I got to see if it actually like does anything or if it's just for show. Yeah. Well, I had a fire helmet. I hit myself in the head with shit.
Call your buddies over. Hey, shoot me with this bow and arrow in the head. I'm gonna test out this mask.
No, not like that. Use a hammer like a normal person.
Oh, that's normal. Okay. You're funny. Crazy.
I'm unstoppable in my metal helmet.
Right?
Slowly assemble some armor. I was looking at chainmail too.
Oh well.
I've crossed
Yeah.
the line from crazy to absolute crazy.
Yeah, hey, look at the world today.
I want a Juggernaut helmet.
You know what I hope too? I hope after you get all this stuff, I hope somebody breaks into your house while you're wearing it. I really do. Because that would be hysterical. They'd be like,
This is my
what?
one chance to use this all legally.
Imagine scaring the shit out of people.
Yep.
That would
Shoot
be
him in the dick with a mini crossbow pistol to start things out.
right. That would be
Hit him in the fucking stomach with a flare gun, then go to work.
yeah. That would scare the shit out of them. That would be hysterical.
They'll wake up out of their pain in my basement, tied to a chair,
Yeah.
and they'll slowly hear the song "She Wore Blue Velvet" with the volume raising up, and then they'll hear me sharpening things.
Dexter ain't got shit on you, huh?
Nope. If you're gonna do it, you might as well make it an experience for the person.
That's very considerate of you.
Yep, they're the criminal. Welcome to criminality.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
Oh, God. That's funny.
Yeah, it's a way to pass the time. Now, how much did your viewership go down and all that? Not too bad.
Jesus Christ. You sound like a dick in my mouth or something?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
That's why I asked. I'm trying to be pleasant about it. I didn't actually think you had a dick in your mouth, but I just figured you were eating something. And I wanted to know.
Getting a star on that racing brand.
You know, we just, I'm nosy. I hope you don't have a dick in your mouth.
Oh my God.
37 in a row? It's from quarters, man. My girlfriend sucked 37 dicks, and you're telling me to calm down? Then she leaves because she's all pissed, and he goes, "Try not to suck any dick on the way through the parking lot." And this guy turns around, starts following her, and he goes, "Hey, you get back here!"
Back when they wrote movies.
Oh yeah, they didn't give a shit. They knew it had to be funny because it was their own money. Clerks was made in 27 grand on his own credit cards. Ballsy.
Woolsey.
Put up or shut up. You know how long that would have taken to pay off if that shit didn't make some money? Be fucked. But instead we got the beauty that is Mallrats.
That's right. Capital fuck.
Yeah. Fly, fat ass, fly.
Speaking of fucked, we're done fucked out of time, everybody. It's that time of the night.
What?
Alright. Well, I'm going to do a GTA stream because my buddy Russ finally got back onto GTA and he was able to get back into his account thanks to Tina. Wait a minute, thanks to Tina.
Thanks. I'm glad I
She
could
sent me like 5 ways to break back into your own old Gmail accounts. Apparently one of them worked.
Awesome. I'm happy to hear that.
Mm-hmm. You saved them an 800 rank account. I hope you know how long that takes to do in GTA Online. Because
Really?
it's a long time. Yeah, an 800 rank, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm a 600 and something.
So
Yeah, he would have been upset if you lost all that.
he kind of owes me.
All
I
this
can
stuff.
I can think of like favors for him to do for me now, right?
Yeah, well, he lives in Maryland, so he could probably get you some good crab cakes.
Oh, that sounds so good.
Mm. Yeah, it does.
And crab cakes. I mean, like really
Covered
good
in
crab
butter.
cakes. And forever.
It's That's my crab cake news there.
Yeah. Sounds pretty crabby.
So listen, everybody, I want you to check out the description of this video. I'm going to find links to my Twitter and my email if you got scary stories to share or suggestions for high strangeness. Link to the Teespring store. I hope you will check out some of the designs there. They are definitely unique. Where else you can find just a similar set of reptilians t-shirts. So check it out, please. Big thank you to my Patreon supporters, both of them. I really do appreciate you guys for having me back, for as long as you have, and for just starting. I really don't mean a lot. If you're in a position to become Patreon supporters, just $1 a month, that's a quarter a week. I hope you feel what we do here night after night, day after day is worth a quarter a week. So maybe you'll consider signing up if you're in a financial position to do so. Links to everybody else's channel are down in the description of this video. Please subscribe to them as well. And as we do, this. I wanted to say thank you to Joseph Aldrin, NRG Daymoon, and Trash Panda for your generous super chats. They're much appreciated. And thank you to my panel for being here tonight. Thanks so much, guys. This has been the Creepy Little Book Live, and you've been listening to High Strangeness, the #1 late night paranormal podcast on YouTube. I'm your host, Pete, and with me tonight with Tina Tomazuski, Ryan the Observer, Mecha Random 42, and Jesse Miller at the Crow's Nest. And until tomorrow night, everybody, stay creeped out, and don't forget to check out Jesse's stream, which is coming up after this one. Thank you all. And have a good night.
Access to docking facilities requires flight control authorization. Please submit a request before entering the docking bay.
Landing gear deployed. engaged. Docking request denied. Scan detected. Docking request granted.